So guys, one of you asked me to do a video about what next for Amir Khan. You want me to give you my opinion on who he should fight next, and what are the options, and who do I think he should fight next. Now, a lot of you have given some of your choices. Some of you say Broner, some of you say Danny Garcia rematch, some of you say Pacquiao, some of you say Brook. I think they're all options. They're definitely all options. I'm quite surprised with how many of you, or some of you, think that Amir Khan can still fight at top level if he gets back to training, has a few warm-up fights, takes his boxing more seriously. He can get back to the top. I'm not so sure about that, if I'm honest. I do doubt that, but because I feel like once you've lost it and you've not got it anymore, you don't look the same. Your legs don't move the way they used to. That's very hard to get back. How do you get that back? His performances of late look like a guy that doesn't look at his best. And what we're going through right now, the fact that all this inactivity, right, is not going to make him any better. It's not like he's going to come back from all of this inactivity, not training in the gym, and become better. It's going to be very difficult for him to reach that form that he had 10 years ago. Because we got to realize is this guy was in his prime about 10 years ago. He was in his prime 10 years ago. So that's a long time. But in terms of who should he fight next, there's some big fights out there that he could still make a lot of money. Danny Garcia, that's a good rematch. And I've always wanted him to fight that fight. He would now, at this stage in his career, be an underdog going into that fight. Whereas if he had fought him 2-3 years after he lost, he would have still been favourite in my eyes, and I think he probably would have beat him. And I don't think Danny Garcia and his father really fancied that fight. But I do think that's a viable option. But I think Danny Garcia is looking at bigger things now. I think he's looking at a Spence fight. I think he's looking at a Pacquiao fight or a Thurman rematch. I don't really think he's looking at Amir Khan at the minute. Even though I think it would be a good, nice payday for him. It'd be a good, big money fight because Amir Khan's got a huge name. But Brook, let's talk about Brook. I think Brook is obviously always going to be there. It's a massive British fight, even though I think people have been put off by it by seeing the reactions of late. Brook's came out and said, I've given up on that fight. And people were like, who cares? Nobody really cares if you've given up or not. It's not a good fight anymore. It should have happened 5 years ago. I believe if it gets made, people will still be interested and they'll still buy it. Trust me. They're all saying that now because I think we all know the fight's probably not going to happen. I think so. We're saying that, who cares? It should have happened 5 years ago. I think we know the fight's not going to happen. That's where we're just saying, who cares? The fight's no good anymore. It should have happened 5 years ago. But if it was to be made tomorrow, we'd all tune in. Trust me. I don't think that fight's going to happen. I don't think that's realistic. A Pacquiao fight. I think thing is with the Pacquiao situation, Pacquiao's not really shown any intent of fighting Amir Khan. He's not really, Amir Khan's been called him out the day before, but I don't know whether Pacquiao's interested, if I'm honest. He's talking about fighting Crawford. There's talks about him fighting Mikey Garcia, and Amir Khan's not really getting a mention from his side. So I don't know. I don't know whether that's a fight that's going to be made. A lot of you think that he doesn't deserve a fight with Manny Pacquiao, and I don't really see it that way. I feel if it makes money, it makes sense. And that fight definitely makes money. But I don't know whether Pacquiao's has shown any interest in fighting Amir Khan. So I don't know if that's going to happen. I do think a fight that potentially could happen and is probably the right move for Amir Khan is the Broner fight. I think a win against Adrian Broner, which I think he's more than capable at this stage of his career getting against Broner at 147, would put Amir Khan back in contention. He won't become world level all of a sudden, but it'd put him back in contention for potentially another big fight. Maybe with a Pacquiao by beating Broner. But again, it is Broner, and I think people are put off by Broner. So I think it's a great fight for both, because I think the loser of this fight would have nowhere to go. And Amir Khan's already said he's only got 1 or 2 fights left. So if he was to lose to someone like Broner, you retire and you go off, and it's a good money fight. It'd pay both of them well. And when you look at where they are in their careers, it's probably the perfect fight for both. So I think that would be a fight that Amir Khan's never mentioned or talked about. But really, I think that's a realistic fight for him right now, if I'm honest. And I think that's a fight where he can put himself back in contention for another big fight. But yeah, what do you guys think? That's my thoughts. They're the 4 options that I think are out there. There's probably others, but I think these are the more realistic options, if we're honest. I don't really think there's other fights out there. Yeah, Thurman, but I don't think those guys would be interested in Khan. I don't even think Danny Garcia would be interested in Amir Khan. And there's no real other fights out there for him. I think this is, and obviously there's the Niraj Goyat fight that he might take. But again, nobody really wants to see that fight. I'm talking about fights that we as fans would like to see. And the 4 names that I've seen getting mentioned is Brook, Danny Garcia, Broner, and Pacquiao. And I think we'd all be interested. We'll watch either of them fights. But if I'm I think a fight that with Broner makes a lot of sense, because I think both guys would take the fight. Whereas Pacquiao as champion, I don't know. A lot of people don't think the fight with Pacquiao and Amir Khan is a credible fight. So maybe that's the reason Pacquiao might he may not want to take the fight with Amir Khan. But I don't know. I think any of those fights I would watch and it interests me. I do think the Broner and Brook fight are close fights, just because where Brook is. Brook might be a slight favourite, or it's a 50-50, that one. I think the Pacquiao and Danny Garcia, for me, would be substantial. They'd be favourites, quite big favourites, actually. Pacquiao would be quite a big favourite, and even Danny Garcia would be. I think Danny Garcia's on the slide, but I don't think he's on the slide as much as Amir Khan is, because he's been active and he's always training in the gym. So I think Garcia's still in good shape. But yeah, leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Who do you think Amir Khan should fight out of those 4? Or maybe you've got somebody else you think he should fight. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.
I want to thank you all for me reaching 7,000 subs. I appreciate your support. Guys, as you can probably see from my channel art, I have recently started Patreon and Blogger. If you were to click on this icon here, it will take you to my Patreon page, and I just want to take you through my Patreon page. So at the minute, I've got 2 options. Hopefully, I will increase this if my Patreon grows. But at the minute, I've got one option, which is $1 a month fan donation, which will obviously help me produce better quality content on YouTube and faster for you guys. And I've got another option of $3 a month for 2 live streams a week, discussing boxing with myself. You guys will get to speak to me face to face. And I'll take you to my boxing blog. So if you were to click on this B sign here, it will take you to my boxing blogs, which is this page here. And all you have to do is click on here, and that will take you to my boxing blogs, where you can see all my different articles that I've wrote. So as you can see, I've wrote 6 articles about different topics. So if you want to click on one of my articles, all you got to do is click on this, and it will take you straight to the article, and you can read it, and you can then go back and read the others if you would like. But yeah, guys, I thought I'd just highlight this to you. So make sure to read my articles. Make sure to subscribe to my Patreon if you're interested. And guys, I thank you for your support. I thank you for me reaching 7,000 subs. Guys, I'm out.
So guys, I want to continue the debate about Floyd Mayweather. Is Floyd Mayweather the greatest fighter of all time? And me and my brother had a nice debate yesterday. My brother said he thinks Floyd Mayweather is the greatest fighter of all time. And I was saying, well, I'm not sure. Guys, what I would say to you is there's no right or wrong answer here. A lot of you were going back and forth and saying, one of you even messaged me on Instagram actually saying that, you're hate for Floyd. I'm not a Floyd hater. Floyd Mayweather is definitely one of the greatest fighters of all time. He's one of the greatest fighters. I just don't think he's the greatest. It's a matter of opinion. There's no concrete answer. One of you said, well, Ali's great and Ali fought in a crazy time, but I don't think Ali's got the achievements of Mayweather. And I do agree to that to a certain extent, where we are emotionally attached to Muhammad Ali, all of us. So we always seem to not look at it, what he did in the ring. Even though, let's get this out there, I think personally he was more talented than Mayweather. Because when you're talking about the greatest fighter of all time, right, it depends on how you look at it. It's a matter of opinions. Mayweather never lost a fight. He was very strategical, right? But some people think Manny Pacquiao is the greatest of all time. They think the fact that Manny Pacquiao moved up 8 divisions, 8 divisions, skipping 2, that's incredible. That's a phenomenal achievement. But when Mayweather fought Pacquiao, he beat him. But when you look at it from a pound for pound, Mayweather was bigger than Pacquiao. He was a bigger man. So Terence Crawford mentioned something about pound for pound. He goes, the best pound for pound fighter is a guy that moves up several weight classes and dominates. And Pacquiao did that in his career. So from that point of view, is Pacquiao pound for pound a better fighter than Mayweather? Which means you may have to place... A lot of people play Duran ahead of Sugar Ray Leonard. Although Duran did beat Sugar Ray Leonard in a close fight, he lost the second fight in quite embarrassing fashion. And one thing we know is that, for me, Sugar Ray Leonard was probably a better boxer, fighter. Not fighter, but boxer, definitely, than Duran. And probably if they had fought 10 times, Sugar Ray Leonard would have won 9 times. Duran got his one chance where Sugar Ray Leonard fought his fight. But for me, and Duran, most people put Duran higher than Sugar Ray Leonard when it comes to the greatest fighters of all time. So, there's a lot of experts that may not even have, that don't even have Floyd in the top 3, top 5, some of them. You know, because it's a matter of opinion. And a lot of the experts and the boxing aficionados have Sugar Ray Robinson as the best fighter of all time, the greatest fighter of all time. You know, and a lot of people would, especially a lot of the older generation, would feel insulted if you were to say Floyd Mayweather is better than Sugar Ray Robinson. Because Sugar Ray Robinson is considered the GOAT. He was considered the best ever. A special fighter. Fast, speed, power, entertaining. He had everything. Now, for me personally, how do I look at the greatest fighter of all time? Yes, you've got to have a stacked resume. Yes, you've got to fight great fighters. Yes, you've got to win. But for me, a loss doesn't mean that you're not the greatest fighter of all time just because you've lost. That don't mean anything. Really. Just because you won all your fights don't mean that you're the greatest fighter of all time. Well, in that case, someone pointed out to me then Rocky Marciano, 49-0, should be the second greatest fighter of all time. He lost. Even though Rocky Marciano didn't have the resume like Mayweather, but still he was 49-0. Undefeated to me doesn't mean anything. What I look at is the guys that you fought, the guys that you beat, how many weight classes you moved up. Now, of course, for a heavyweight, that doesn't happen. But if you look at some heavyweights, their resumes were incredible. Like Ali's resume was stupid. It was stupid. He had a better resume than Floyd. Now, people may say that Floyd's beaten more world champions, but at the end of the day, he didn't have the resume and he didn't beat the names that Muhammad Ali beat. You know, just look at the names. Joe Frazier, Joe Foreman, Sonny Liston, Ken Norton. You know, Ernie Shavers. Just the guy beat killers after killers after killers. You know, killers, literally killers. He destroyed Sonny Liston, who was seen as a monster at that point. You know, so there isn't a resume in boxing like Muhammad Ali. The killers that man fought. Killers after killers after killers. He fought so many great fighters and beat a lot of them. You know, so for me, also, to be the greatest fighter, you also have to be entertaining. That's part of the package. Floyd wasn't entertaining. He was boring. A lot of the times I used to fall asleep sometimes during his fights because he could be quite boring. But that, again, that's just my personal opinion. That's why I've always preferred Pacquiao, because he's more exciting. Now, Floyd's more strategically better in the sense that if you want a guy to go and fight for your life and want to win a fight, then Floyd's your man. But that's not what I call the greatest. What I call the greatest is a guy that's exciting, that's got great records, that's got great wins, that's moved up, you know, that's fought top fighters, beaten top fighters. You know, that's what I consider the greatest. And I don't think anybody, even Sugar Ray Robinson to that extent, probably didn't do what Muhammad Ali did. He was entertaining in and outside the ring. He was fighting killers after killers after killers in and outside the ring. And the other thing is, let's not forget, Muhammad Ali probably had his peak years taken away from him because he had to go into prison. Let's not forget that. He had his peak years taken away. How good would he have been in those 2 or 3 years that were taken away? He would have been a monster. So this is what I'm trying to say. Muhammad Ali is hard to beat. He was entertaining in and outside the ring. He beat unbelievable fighters, and really, if we're honest, better fighters than Floyd beat. Better fighters. Floyd beat probably more world champions, yes, but he didn't beat some of the killers like Muhammad Ali fought in Foreman, Frazier. These are some of the biggest names in boxing, period. Like, look how long ago those guys fought. We're still talking about them. We're still talking about them. Like Miguel Cotto, Mosley, these guys are not in the same league as those guys were. We're still talking about Frazier, Foreman. We're still talking about them. And let's not forget, Muhammad Ali and Frazier have passed away. Yet, Muhammad Ali will be remembered forever. But even Frazier, for example, who wasn't seen as the best of the bunch, but we're still talking about them. So, it's a matter of opinion, really. What you like. What do you like, you know? But for me, Muhammad Ali is probably the greatest fighter of all time. But if you think Floyd is, if you think Manny is, you're entitled to your opinion, because all of these guys deserve to be in the discussion for the greatest fighter of all time. But leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. See you guys in the next video.
I want to thank you all for me reaching 7,000 subs. I appreciate your support. Guys, as you can probably see from my channel art, I have recently started Patreon and Blogger. If you were to click on this icon here, it will take you to my Patreon page. And I just want to take you through my Patreon page. So at the minute, I've got 2 options. Hopefully, I will increase this if my Patreon grows. But at the minute, I've got one option, which is $1 a month fan donation, which will obviously help me produce better quality content on YouTube and faster for you guys. And I've got another option of $3 a month for 2 live streams a week discussing boxing with myself. You guys will get to speak to me face to face. And I'll take you to my boxing blog. So if you were to click on this B sign here, it will take you to my boxing blogs, which is this page here. And all you have to do is click on here, and that will take you to my boxing blogs, where you can see all my different articles that I've wrote. So as you can see, I've wrote 6 articles about different topics. So if you want to click on one of my articles, all you got to do is click on this, and it will take you straight to the article, and you can read it, and you can then go back and read the others if you would like. But yeah, guys, I thought I'd just highlight this to you. So make sure to read my articles. Make sure to subscribe to my Patreon if you're interested. And guys, I thank you for your support. I thank you for me reaching 7,000 subs. Guys, I'm out.
Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. Hope everyone's keeping safe. Hope you're all locked indoors. In the UK, another 800 people died. It's crazy times. Hope everyone's staying at home, staying safe, and just keeping yourself away from being in contact with people. But yeah, let's move on to boxing, and let's talk Floyd Money Mayweather. There was a video put out by Behind the Gloves, I believe, saying that can Floyd Mayweather still beat Pacquiao, Spence, and Crawford? The realistic fight for Mayweather is Pacquiao, of course, if he's going to fight a top-level boxer. But in my opinion, Floyd Mayweather is a legend. He's one of the greatest fighters of all time. I know some Pacquiao fans don't like hearing this, but he's a legend. The man's an absolute great fighter. I've admired what he's done. I've never been a huge fan, but I've admired what he's been able to achieve in the game. I've always admired him. But I don't think it makes business sense for Floyd Mayweather right now. Or I wouldn't say business sense. Yeah, business sense to fight Crawford or Spence for sure. I think they're too young. They're too fresh. In their prime, he smokes them. You know, and Floyd Mayweather in his prime would have beaten Crawford and Spence comfortably, in my opinion. I think, you know, it's even disrespectful asking that question, because we're talking about one of the greatest fighters ever in Mayweather, and Crawford and Spence don't come anywhere near that category. They're not one of the greatest fighters ever. They don't come anywhere close to being, and I don't think even when they finish their career they'll be considered as one of the greatest fighters ever. So I think that's very disrespectful to Mayweather by saying could they beat him even in his prime. You know, they say that could they beat him in his prime? Not a chance. Not a chance. And if you were to ask Bob Arum, he'd probably say Terence Crawford beats Mayweather in his prime. Nonsense. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. You know, Mayweather was a genius, defensive genius. There's no way Spence or Crawford beat him. I don't care what you say. They got physicality, size, reach, whatever you say. Mayweather would have worked out a way and found a way to win, like he always did, or majority of the times. He was an unbelievable fighter. He was a defensive wizard. All these guys learned off Mayweather, right? And as they say, you know, the student can't beat the master. A lot of these guys are students. Look at Canelo. Look how good Canelo is. And as Mayweather said, Canelo's copied some of his moves. Mayweather was exceptional. There's a reason why he was able to beat so many world champions. There's no way Spence or Crawford, and I don't know why people still talk about this, but no way Spence or Crawford could beat him. He would have easily beaten those guys. In prime, Mayweather would have destroyed Crawford and Spence. Would have destroyed Crawford and Spence. Easy work for Mayweather. Mayweather made fighters, in my opinion, better than them. Beat them. Canelo. Beat him comfortably. Cotto. Would Spence and Crawford beaten Cotto? Do you know what I mean? He beat them, beat him comfortably. You know, he beat some exceptional fighters comfortably. De La Hoya. He didn't beat De La Hoya comfortably. That was close. That was close. Zab Judah. You know, Mayweather beat Sugar Shane Mosley. This is what I'm trying to say. Mayweather was a phenomenon. He beat some exceptional fighters. So for us to disrespect him and say, could Mayweather... Well, it was basically the title, could Mayweather beat Spence and Crawford now? The answer is no, in my opinion. But in his prime, he would have destroyed Spence and Crawford. As far as I'm concerned, I don't think those guys would have been able to match with Mayweather. Simple as that. Simple as that. That's my opinion, and I want to end on that, really. Mayweather would have smoked Spence or Crawford, in my opinion, in his prime. They don't come close. That's just my opinion. What do you guys think? Leave your thoughts. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. So guys, I praised Mayweather in the last video. I want to talk about Jose Luis Castillo came out and said the fans know, the world knows, the boxing fans know that Floyd Mayweather is not undefeated. He lost to me the first time. Listen, I think most people in boxing that have followed boxing for a very long time, that know about boxing, most people know that Floyd Mayweather lost to Jose Luis Castillo. Unfortunately, Castillo didn't get the decision. At that time, that was being rubbed as one of the biggest robberies. It wasn't one, in my opinion, one of the biggest robberies, but it was definitely a fight that, in my opinion, Castillo won. And because Mayweather was being made out to be a next superstar, next star, I feel like he was given the nod by the judges. Let's not forget, in Mayweather's amateur career at the Olympics, Mayweather also suffered at the hands of the judges, where he won a bronze medal when really he should have won a gold. But this night, Mayweather, the luck favored him, the fortunes favored him, and the judges favored him. Really, when majority of the boxing fans were up in arms, they all thought he lost. And I thought he lost. When I go back watch that fight, I think he lost that fight. I do. And Mayweather's had some close shaves. Did he beat De La Hoya? Did he beat Madonna the first time? You know, these were all close fights. But the Castillo fight was, in my opinion, should have been black and white. He lost that. I think most people know that he lost it. But I think the reason why Mayweather gets a pass for that fight is because he beat him in the rematch. He beat him in the rematch. And Mayweather put the wrong right. But Castillo probably feels aggrieved because he probably feels that he was the only man to beat Floyd Mayweather. And he never got the nod. And it was injustice. It was unfair. Is Castillo right to complain? Yeah, because I think most of the boxing fans thought he won. Just like most of the boxing fans thought Fury beat Wilder. But to rub it in, Castillo didn't even get a draw. He didn't even get a draw. At least Wilder got a draw. You know, Mayweather came away with a win. And that, I think, hurt Luis Castillo, because I think Castillo felt he won that fight. And majority of the boxing fans felt he won that fight. So I think people forget about it because people now just talk about 50-0. But Mayweather's had some tough nights, had some tough moments. He has to come through a lot. But I think that Castillo fight was one where, you know, he should have had an L on his record. So I know we love to talk about Floyd Mayweather's 50-0. And we love to talk about it. But really, don't know whether we should have got that decision, if I'm honest with you. And I'm being brutally honest. I don't think he deserved that decision. You know, I think he lost that fight, really. But like I said, he was being built up to be the next megastar. So, you know, they ended up giving him that fight. You know, I think most of the boxing fans at that point were up in arms because they all thought Mayweather had lost the fight. You know, I remember watching that fight, and then after the fight, I think it was Jim Lampley saying that this is a robbery. This is a huge robbery. But it's crazy that because it was a long time ago, we've kind of forgotten about it. Nobody even mentions it or talks about it. We all go on about his 50-0 record. And listen, on paper, it's 50-0. It doesn't matter whether people thought that was a robbery. You know, Bradley beat Manny Pacquiao the first time. On paper, he has beaten Pacquiao. Even though that was seen as one of the biggest robberies in boxing ever. You know, at the end of the day, on paper, Bradley won that fight. Even though most of the boxing fans know that he lost, on paper, Bradley won. And I guess in years to come, that's what people are going to remember, what happened on paper. Because when you look back at it in 70, 80 years' time, history will say Bradley's got a win over Pacquiao. Even though everybody knows that really he lost. But in 70 years' time, fans won't know whether that was a robbery. They're going to just look into history and say, oh, Bradley got the win. Same with Mayweather and Castillo. No one's going to talk about in 100 years' time, you know, Mayweather really lost to Castillo. Only the, you know, boxing historians will know that actually that was a very close fight, or a fight where Mayweather got lucky. He shouldn't have got the decision. But again, you know, in a 50-fight career, you're going to have fights where you're going to struggle, or you may get a lucky decision. That happens in a lot of fighters' career. But leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think. Did you think Mayweather lost that fight against Jose Luis Castillo? What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Guys, so let's talk about this Paulie Malignaggi accusation. Fans up in arms. Some of you are not happy with the accusations that Manny Pacquiao has been hit with in terms of the PED use, and a lot of Manny Pacquiao fans have been up in arms for a long time about this PED situation. People accusing him. Let me put it out there. Now, irrespective of what people think about Pacquiao, right? Whether they think whatever he's done, people think it's only accusations. He never failed a drugs test. Manny Pacquiao fans accuse Floyd of doing dodgy stuff. Here's the thing. For me, Manny Pacquiao is a legend. Floyd Mayweather is a legend. Manny Pacquiao is one of the greatest fighters of all time. Forget all of the rest, the crap, the accusation. Forget the PED accusations. Manny Pacquiao is a legend. He's gone down in history of boxing. There's always going to be certain people, when you're really good at something, questioning whether what he did normal. But, you know, greatness is not normal. And listen, I even said I understand what Paulie Malignaggi's saying. right? He's made some good points. But again, like I said in my previous video, are we going to start questioning everybody that's good in sport, right? There's certain people doing crazy things in other sport, right? And have done crazy things in other sport, which makes you think, wow, can a guy be that fast? Can a guy be that strong? There are other sportsmen in other fields we can question. You know, so if we're going to go down that road, if we're going to start questioning everybody that's exceptional in their field, that's great. And we're going to start saying, well, he's not natural. There's no way he can be natural. He's too good, or he's too powerful, or he's too fast, or, you know, we're going to have to start going down that road. But one thing I will say is that for me, Pacquiao's a legend regardless. I just think I think he's a special fighter. You know, I've always been a Manny Pacquiao fan, you know, ever since I first saw him. Now, certain people will have their opinions because the guy was moving up weight classes and bashing bigger men, and not just bashing them, beating them up, cracking them, walking through them. So, of course, people are going to see that and say, nah, this can't be normal. But not everyone, firstly, he's obviously a lot better than most fighters. Let's get that out there. Right? He's more talented than most fighters, better than most fighters. That's why, otherwise, it doesn't matter what he's taking, what you think he's taking. He wouldn't have achieved what he achieved. Simple as that. He wouldn't have achieved what he achieved. He's obviously way better. Listen, you could put other boxers and say, if you think, give him the most strongest performance enhancing drug, and they won't be able to achieve what Pacquiao's achieved. It's because he's very good. All right? Now, there's always going to be a question mark there. But again, there's no proof, right? There's been other guys that have been caught that were cash cows in the sport, right? And this guy's been boxing for a very, very long time. Very, very long time. And he's never failed one test. And that's not a good look for boxing. If you're saying, you're accusing this guy of being on something, that doesn't put boxing in good light at all, because he's been fighting for almost 4 decades. So it doesn't put boxing in good light at all. He's starting his 4th decade, Manny Pacquiao. Never failed a test. So as far as I'm concerned, he's a legend, and I just think I think he's one of the best fighters I've seen, one of the most exciting fighters I've seen. Power, speed, movement, he had everything. He had Pacquiao, for me, yeah, his defense was a bit shoddy, but that's because he was so aggressive. You're gonna, you know, you can't, if you're an aggressive fighter, you're gonna leave openings for fighters, and that's why he did get knocked out. You know, there was a time in his career where that period that people accuse him of was where he was exceptional. He was exciting to watch. Even when the fights were one-sided, when he was beating the guys up and they were one-sided, he was exciting to watch. His style was so fan-friendly. It's unbelievable. Just a great watch. He's just been a great watch. So I'll always view Manny Pacquiao as a legend, and he'll go down as one of the greatest fighters of all time. Of all time. And that's my opinion of him. So I don't think you should get upset about people's opinion. People will have their opinions regardless. You know, when someone's great at something, and that's not just with Manny Pacquiao, that happens with a lot of sportsmen around the world. If you may not be into other sports, that's why you may not know the accusations, you know, going around with someone like Usain Bolt. People may be accusing him. You know, we just don't know. I don't follow sprinting or 100-meter sprinting like that to know. But there's probably people in that sport that are accusing someone that's great because he's running crazy. He's running 100 meters in such, you know, in small times and stuff. So, like I said, I think there's always going to be accusations. The fact is, the man's never failed, and that's all we can go by. And he's one of boxing's royalties. He's one of the greatest boxers of all time. So that's my opinion. You guys leave your opinion, and I'll respond to you in the comment section. Guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. So guys, I want to make a video about Amir Khan. Now, a lot of you guys are saying in the comment section, I read all your comments, as you know, I respond to most of you. You're saying Amir Khan's not an elite fighter. This is what some of you have had to say. That Amir Khan's not an elite fighter, in your opinion, in some of your opinions. Now, firstly, I don't agree with this. I definitely don't agree with that. At one point, here's the thing about whether he's an elite fighter. What's your category of being an elite fighter? If your category of being an elite fighter is Terence Crawford, Lomachenko, Canelo, if that's what you call elite fighter, then he doesn't fit into that category. No, because he's not as consistent as consistent as they are. He's not got the boxing IQ that they have. He's not calm under pressure like they are, right? And consistently. But if you're saying Josh Taylor's elite, right, then Amir Khan's elite, right? There's no way you can tell me that Josh Taylor is elite and Amir Khan's not elite. He was at one point when he beat Zab Judo in the top 10 pound for pound, right? He's beaten some very good names in boxing, right? Respected names in boxing. So it all depends on what you guys think is elite, right? Depends on what you guys think is elite. If you think, you know, Terence Crawford, Canelo, and Crawford, Lomachenko, these are what you think should be classified as elite, then no, he doesn't fit into that category. In his prime, he was very good. He was below them, but in his prime, he was an excellent fighter. He was an excellent fighter. And I feel like a lot of you guys just don't intentionally give him credit and talk about other things, his chin and stuff, but you don't give him credit about some of the things that he did great in his prime. You know, and let me tell you about Amir Khan's prime years. Amir Khan's prime years were under Freddie Roach, right? His prime years were under Freddie Roach. So that takes out the Prescott defeat. His prime years were from Marco Antonio Barrera to Danny Garcia. That was his prime years. And in that period, he lost twice, right? He lost to Lamont Peterson, who most people thought he beat. Let's not forget, in that fight, he dropped Peterson 3 times. He dropped Peterson 3 times in that fight, right? And he got points taken away, right? And that fight was controversial, split decision, very close, right? And Lamont Peterson afterwards failed a drugs test. And a lot of you guys give him stick for not rematching the guys that he lost. He was rematching Lamont Peterson, right? And Lamont Peterson failed a drugs test. So how is that Amir Khan's fault, right? Also with Danny Garcia defeat. We all know that Angel Garcia made some remarks about Amir Khan and he was angry. He went into that fight angry, and I thought he fought the wrong fight. And he ended up getting caught. He wasn't able to recover and he got knocked out. It happened to Joshua, right? But some people don't even think Anthony Joshua is elite, right? Some people think that Anthony Joshua is not elite. It's everyone's opinion. Bob Arum said Joshua is not elite. Okay, so we lost to Danny Garcia. Now he wanted the rematch with Danny Garcia. He wanted to fight Danny Garcia. It was Danny Garcia that didn't want to fight Amir Khan. And you guys know that Amir Khan wanted the rematch. His dad and Danny Garcia were never keen on the rematch with Khan. Why is that? Why do I think they weren't keen? Because they probably knew he would outbox them in the rematch. They never fancied it, even though that would have made Danny Garcia huge money. Can you imagine a rematch with him and Amir Khan and Danny Garcia would have been a massive fight. But Danny Garcia didn't fancy the job. His dad didn't fancy the job. They didn't want it. They clearly said, we're moving on. We don't want to fight him again. So how is that Amir Khan's fault? What mistake Amir Khan made is when he was mandated to fight for the WBC title at 147 pounds, he went and fought Canelo. His trainer, Virgil Hunt, wanted him to take the Danny Garcia fight as well. And I think at that point, he would have beaten Danny Garcia. I'm very confident he would have beaten Danny Garcia in a rematch. But again, if Amir Khan, like I said this before, if Amir Khan had beaten Danny Garcia, you guys would have said Danny Garcia is no good. Just the way he beat Zab Judah, and you said Zab Judah was over the hill, but then Zab Judah went 2 years later, went life and death with Danny Garcia. 2 years after Amir Khan destroyed him. Now, Amir Khan battered Malinaji, and then Malinaji years later went on to win a welterweight world title. And a lot of you guys say this as well. I want to point this out. A lot of you guys say, well, Amir Khan's not been world champion for 8 years. Right? If Amir Khan wanted to cherry pick and fight easy opponents, he could have easily become world champion at a different weight class. Let me tell you, Amir Khan beat Devin Alexander. If I believe he's a 2-weight world champion, if I'm not mistaken. Malinaji was a 2-weight world champion. that wasn't even a close fight. Amir Khan battered Malignaggi. Devin Alexander, that wasn't a close fight. Devin Alexander was a two-way. Now, if Amir Khan fought Devin Alexander when he was welterweight world champion, he would have been world champion at welterweight. Broner was a welterweight world champion. Amir Khan would have beaten Adrian Broner. Maidana became a welterweight world champion. Amir Khan beat Marcos Maidana, if you guys don't remember, right? Amir Khan, when Liam Smith became world champion at 154, he beat a guy called Thompson. Don't you think if Amir Khan wanted to cherry pick a world title, he could have gone and beat Thompson for a 154-pound title? If he wanted to, he could have cherry picked world titles and become a 3-weight world champion, no problem. But then you guys would have said, oh, well, he never fought anyone. Do you see where I'm coming with this? There's always an excuse. There's always an excuse. If he had won multiple world titles at multiple weights, you would have said, well, he's never really fought anyone. He beat Zab Judah. You said he's over the hill. But then Zab Judah gave Danny Garcia a life and death fight. He beat Malignaggi. You guys said Malignaggi's no good. But then Malignaggi went and won a world title at welterweight. He beat Marcos Maidana. And you guys said, well, Maidana's no good. Maidana was crap anyway. This is I'm just saying some of the things that you say. Do you see? So you guys make who you feel fit elite. That's it. So I don't know when you say is he elite? I don't know, because it depends on what you think elite is. If you think elite is Floyd Mayweather and Pacquiao, then no, he's not elite. If you think Crawford, Canelo and Lomachenko are elite, no, he doesn't fit into that category. But if you think Josh Taylor's elite, then yeah, he is elite. What's elite though? What's your definition of elite? So for you, a unified champion isn't an elite fighter? Is that what you're saying? Like, a unified champion can't be an elite fighter. That's what you're basically saying, right? He was unified champion at one point in his career. And if he was fighting in today's 140-pound division, he'd probably be undisputed champion. With how weak the 140-pound division is today, he'd probably be undisputed. If he had the run, if he had to fight the champions that Crawford had to fight to become, he'd probably be undisputed. Crawford had to fight, who did he fight? Victor Postol. Do you honestly think Amir Khan wouldn't have beat Victor Postol? Right? He had to fight Julio Ndongo to become undisputed champion. He had to fight Ndongo. Just imagine Danny Garcia against Ndongo. Or Danny Garcia against Postol. Or Danny Garcia against... Crawford didn't fight top guys in 140 pound. Look at the division when Amir Khan was fighting Matisse, Maidana, Zab Judah, Tim Bradley, Devin Alexander, Matisse, Lamont Peterson. Do you see where I'm coming with this? It was top fighter after top fighter after top fighter. But I feel like a lot of you guys don't really give him much credit for it. But anyway, that's my opinion. That's my rant over. So I don't know. It depends on what you think's elite. I think he was elite because my definition of elite is not being Mayweather, is not being Pacquiao. I feel guys below that can also be elite. But like I just said, if you think Mayweather and Pacquiao, Canelo, Crawford, Lomachenko, that's what you have to be elite, then he doesn't fit into that category because he's not as consistent as them. He's more erratic. He makes a lot more mistakes than those guys make. That's why he's got the losses on his record. But if you think Josh Taylor is elite, then Amir Khan's beaten big names in the sport that he deserves to be elite. So it just depends on what your opinion is from that side. But that's just my opinion. What do you guys think? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.
I want to thank you all for me reaching 7,000 subs. I appreciate your support. Guys, as you can probably see from my channel art, I have recently started Patreon and Blogger. If you were to click on this icon here, it will take you to my Patreon page. And I just want to take you through my Patreon page. So at the minute, I've got two options. Hopefully, I will increase this if my Patreon grows. But at the minute, I've got one option, which is $1 a month fan donation, which will obviously help me produce better quality content on YouTube and faster for you guys. And I've got another option of $3 a month for 2 live streams a week discussing boxing with myself. You guys will get to speak to me face to face, and I'll take you to my boxing blog. So if you were to click on this B sign here, it will take you to my boxing blogs, which is this page here. And all you have to do is click on here, and that will take you to my boxing blogs where you can see all my different articles that I've wrote. So as you can see, I've wrote 6 articles about different topics. So if you want to click on one of my articles, all you got to do is click on this, and it will take you straight to the article, and you can read it, and you can then go back and read the others if you would like. But yeah, guys, I thought I'd just highlight this to you. So make sure to read my articles. Make sure to subscribe to my Patreon if you're interested. And guys, I thank you for your support. I thank you for me reaching 7,000 subs. Guys, I'm out.
So guys, what's going on? One of you asked me, you asked me about the Marquez and Lomachenko fight that I did a couple of weeks or maybe a month ago. One of you asked me that Marquez was a special fighter and he was more than capable of beating Lomachenko. But would it be an upset if Marquez was to beat Lomachenko by stoppage? Would it be an upset? Marquez was a legend. An exceptional fighter. Now, it depends on what you mean by upset. I don't think it'd be an upset, because I think it would be... I would favor Lomachenko, but it's not one that you would bet on. It's not one that you would put your house on Lomachenko. It wouldn't, because Marquez was a monster. Let's be honest. And Lomachenko doesn't knock out or stop Marquez. But Marquez could stop Lomachenko because we know he's got power. We know he's got serious power. But Lomachenko's tricky, difficult. But then I look at it that Linares put Lomachenko down. And Lomachenko's not a big 135. Marquez is... And a lot of Lomachenko fans are not even confident he beats Lopez. They think Lopez is a threat. If you think Lopez was a threat, do you think in prime Marquez wasn't a threat? In prime Marquez at 135, he was dangerous. Let's be honest. Marquez was dangerous, and Marquez would be the hardest fight for Lomachenko. I don't think he's fought anyone at the level of a Marquez when Marquez was in his prime. Marquez was a very, very strong fighter. Good chin, good counterpuncher, and we know he had a vicious right hand. He's just a good overall boxer. I really like Marquez. Marquez, one of them proper tough Mexicans. Tough fighter. A special kind of fighter. And I think it would have been a hard fight for Loma. I do. I don't think it would have been an easy fight. Would it be an upset? I favor Lomachenko in the fight. I think it would be... I don't think it'd be an upset. I don't think it's an upset. I think it's one of those fights where you would favor Loma, but if Marquez knocks him out, it wouldn't be a shock. It wouldn't be an upset. Because it depends on what you think's an upset. Is it a guy that's favored to win? Like 55-45? The guy that's 55, the guy that with a 45% chance wins? Is that an upset? No, because I think it's close to a 50-50 fight. I do. I think it could go either way. I do, because I think Marquez would be bigger, stronger, and have the physical advantages. But I think Lomachenko's probably got the better ring IQ, the skills. He's fast. Good footwork, good feet movement. He's got everything, good movement. So I think he would have the edge in that, in the skill department. But Marquez is very calculated. He's a very smart fighter. And he had power. And he was bigger than Lomachenko. You know, so I don't think Marquez... Did he fight Pacquiao at 147? I don't think Marquez was a special welter. I think he moved up to welterweight, but I don't think he was a special welterweight. I do think at lightweight was where he was best at. Because I remember when he fought Floyd Mayweather, I think Marquez was moving up 2 weights, wasn't he? To fight Mayweather at welterweight. And I remember there was a lot of criticism at the time that Floyd Mayweather was fighting a lightweight. But I do think that that would be a problem for Lomachenko. That would be a very difficult fight because Marquez was big and strong at that weight. You know, let's not forget Marquez went up to welterweight. You know, and Lomachenko can't go up to welterweight. So Marquez was big and strong, and he had good skills. So is it a case that the good big man beats the good little man? I don't know, but I do think Marquez had power, and he could have put Lomachenko out. So I think it would have been Lomachenko would have to walk a tightrope against Marquez. It'd be a very difficult fight for Lomachenko, and it would be a serious test of his boxing IQ, because he would have to stay out of harm's way, because Marquez is very, very strong. Very, very. That's a very good fight. If that fight could be made, both in their primes, wow. That would be, in my opinion, probably the best fight in boxing right now. I think it would be an unbelievable fight. I think it'd be a fight that would have us all gripped. All gripped. It's a special kind of fight. So I would love to see that. I would love to see. Oh, that would have been a great fight. That would have been a great fight. Great fight. Special fight. But fortunately, sometimes you don't get to see these guys in different eras, and we don't get to see it. But when you think about it, it's one of those fights where you can't even call it, because you would favor Lomachenko because of his IQ, but you would think, wow, if Marquez lands on him, it could be game over for Lomachenko. It's one of them where Lomachenko is going to have to walk a tightrope. And Marquez is a good big man in the sense that he's got skills of his own, good counter puncher, good right hand. He's got good arsenal, Marquez. So he would be a problem for Loma. He wouldn't be an easy fight for Lomachenko. Especially when I've seen Lomachenko fight guys like Campbell. He struggled. And you would say Marquez was way above, Campbell. Yeah, that would be, and Linares. I think Marquez would have destroyed Linares personally, but yeah, it's a good fight, isn't it? It's a good fight. What do you guys make of it? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.
I want to thank you all for me reaching 7,000 subs. I appreciate your support. Guys, as you can probably see from my channel art, I have recently started Patreon and Blogger. If you were to click on this icon here, it will take you to my Patreon page, and I just want to take you through my Patreon page. So at the minute, I've got 2 options. Hopefully, I will increase this if my Patreon grows. But at the minute, I've got one option, which is $1 a month fan donation, which will obviously help me produce better quality content on YouTube and faster for you guys. And I've got another option of $3 a month for 2 live streams a week discussing boxing with myself. You guys will get to speak to me face to face, and I'll take you to my boxing blog. So if you were to click on this B sign here, it will take you to my boxing blogs, which is this page here. And all you have to do is click on here, and that will take you to my boxing blogs, where you can see all my different articles that I've wrote. So as you can see, I've wrote 6 articles about different topics. So if you want to click on one of my articles, all you got to do is click on this, and it will take you straight to the article, and you can read it, and you can then go back and read the others if you would like. But yeah, guys, I thought I'd just highlight this to you. So make sure to read my articles. Make sure to subscribe to my Patreon if you're interested. And guys, I thank you for your support. I thank you for me reaching 7,000 subs. Guys, I'm out. I want to thank you all for me reaching 7,000 subs. I appreciate your support. Guys, as you can probably see from my channel art, I have recently started Patreon and Blogger. If you were to click on this icon here, it will take you to my Patreon page, and I just want to take you through my Patreon page. So at the minute, I've got 2 options. Hopefully, I will increase this if my Patreon grows. But at the minute, I've got one option, which is $1 a month fan donation, which will obviously help me produce better quality content on YouTube and faster for you guys. And I've got another option of $3 a month for 2 live streams a week discussing boxing with myself. You guys will get to speak to me face to face, and I'll take you to my boxing blog. So if you were to click on this B sign here, it will take you to my boxing blogs, which is this page here. And all you have to do is click on here, and that will take you to my boxing blogs, where you can see all my different articles that I've wrote. So as you can see, I've wrote 6 articles about different topics. So if you want to click on one of my articles, all you got to do is click on this, and it will take you straight to the article, and you can read it, and you can then go back and read the others if you would like. But yeah, guys, I thought I'd just highlight this to you. So make sure to read my articles. Make sure to subscribe to my Patreon if you're interested. And guys, I thank you for your support. I thank you for me reaching 7,000 subs. Guys, I'm out.